Hi, this is Doug Marshall of Marshall Valissis. Buying or selling a business is a really big deal. You want everything to go right, but sometimes things do go wrong. I enjoyed my conversation with Daniel Patten, who is a broker with Sunbelt Business Brokers, and he gives us some of his insights into what can make the process work. Daniel, great to see you this morning. Thank you very much. It's chilly up here in Seattle. Where are you located right now?
I'm located in Vancouver, Washington. So a
Okay.
couple hours south, and I was actually just up in Seattle yesterday.
Yeah, well, we hopefully we had a nice day for you. It was hailing not too long ago. So, hey, let's get right into this. You are in the business of helping people buy or sell a business. That's your dominant business, and so I want
Yep.
to ask you a few questions about that and what you're seeing out there in the marketplace today. So, how would you compare? What's the first question? How would you compare what's going on today now to the same time last year?
Well, obviously, interest rates are higher this year than they were last year. Right now, they're about 9.75%. Shockingly, though, that has not kept buyers from wanting to buy businesses in the same, like we're actually getting more buyers looking and inquiring about businesses this year than last year. So it's not what I would have expected. The rate of sellers coming to us looking to sell is about the same. I think once you hit into the end of 2021, early 2022 is when you saw everything kind of start coming back to normal. And it's just kind of continued until now. And I think we just see a lot of people that are excited about where the future is going, and that they know if you want to buy a business, the time is now. It's like there's never the perfect time to go. And so, yeah, business brokering is really going off to a hot start this year already.
Okay, well, since there are a lot of people that are selling or buying businesses for the first time, what are some misconceptions that owners often come with?
Uh, there's three that jump to the top of my mind. One is that their business is worth more than it really is. It's their baby. They built it typically, and they have an inflated sense of value of the business. That's the first misconception. The second one is that all the opportunities that they have not taken advantage of in their business, but they know are there. They think that increases the value of their business because someone could come in and take advantage of those opportunities. Well, that just makes your business more sellable the more opportunities you have, but it doesn't increase the value because you haven't taken advantage of those opportunities yet. And then the third is that it moves quicker than it does. So the average business sale takes 9 months to a year. Once you list the business, it's not a quick process typically. So the misconception is they come to us, they're burnt out, they want to sell right now as quick as they can. And unfortunately, it's just typically not a very quick process.
What should an owner expect when they come to you?
Honesty, first and foremost. We're going to give it to them straight. So there are people out there that will put business owners, they just ask them how much they want their business to sell for, and then they'll try and sell it for that. We do valuations ourselves for every business owner that comes to us. And if we don't believe that the owner's desired amount that they want for the business coincides with where we come up with the value and that we can get on the same page, then it's probably not a good fit. So, and that's okay. That's good to find out up front, but we're going to give them our honest opinion because in our view, there's a win-win in every situation where a buyer and seller, it's the perfect price point that comes together and makes sense for both parties. So, yeah, they're going to get the straight truth.
Okay, so what would be the top three things you would want an owner to be prepared to bring to you, during your first meetings?
Yeah, financials. Really, it's their taxes for the last 3 years. Any bank and any buyer is going to want to see those taxes for the last 3 years. And so that's what we need to see in order to get a good idea of the trend of the business, how it's been trending the last 3 years and how it's doing currently. So, and if possible, we want the current year taxes if it's the right time of year, or we want the current year P&L that's up to date. We also want an up-to-date balance sheet. So really it's getting all of your financials in order, having your financials ready in a timely manner. That's what we want from a business owner, and what they should kind of have prepared when they come to talk to us.
Should there be any time when an owner would think about doing the deal themselves, not involving a broker?
Yeah, that's one of the most often thought of questions from a business owner when they hear our commission, because we're not cheap.
Sure.
And business brokers are not cheap, and the reason is we only do a few deals a year, and it's tough to pinpoint sometimes the value of a business broker. But really, how I like to put it is that when you price a business correctly, your business spends less time on the market, or it could not sell at all if you price it incorrectly. So there's a ton of value in that right there, is getting it priced correctly, having the expertise to do that. And then navigating deal killers. Deal killers pop up on every single deal. And if you don't have the knowledge and expertise to, wind your way around those, figure those out. I've talked to many business owners who've tried to do it on their own, and they've gone through many buyers. And the result is the deal always falls through at some point, but they can't, it's not always the same thing with each buyer. And it's just, one of those buyers was likely the right buyer. And if they had someone with experience and knowledge to help navigate both parties through that, there's typically a resolution in most cases that can be figured out. And sometimes you have to get, tricky with it, and no deal is ever the same. So there's a ton of value in just having someone that takes that emotion out of it from both sides. And you get the emotion from the seller, you get the emotion from the buyer, you dissipate that, and you give them the facts, right? And when a buyer and seller work directly together, it can be very difficult, especially if they know each other, when emotions get involved in negotiations, etc. So that is a big part of where a value of a business broker comes in, is helping navigate those deal killers, taking the emotion out of the deal, and help just getting the deal done as quickly as possible. Because the longer a deal takes to get done, the more likely it is to die for whatever reason. So part of my job is, as quick as possible, get things moving from start to finish.
The objective, keep it moving along.
Exactly. And another part of the value that we bring is having good contacts, such as a good business attorney who's cheap but knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a massive cost savings. Good CPA to help with understand the tax implications of a deal, whether a stock sale, an asset sale, whether seller financed, whatever, and spreading the money over a few years instead of bulk payments. Having the right person to be able to go through those options with you and really figure out how much money you're going to get at the end of the day from the different types of deal structures that can be done. Having good contacts in those areas can be priceless.
All right. Well, that was kind of leading into my last question for you is, what is it that you believe that you do differently, uniquely in the business? Those were two of them, but what else?
Yeah. So what we do different than most brokers, that we actually do the valuations ourselves of each company. Mm-hmm. We don't outsource the valuations. We believe it's important to know and understand the financials of a company, because when we defend the price, we have to be experts in knowledge in their financials and of what drives value in order to defend price to a buyer. So when we do a valuation, not only do we do it ourselves, but we sit down with the business owners and we walk them through our valuation report. Most companies, every company that I know, just sends them an email or drops the report off, and that's it. And it's up to the business owner to try and negotiate what it says. They can see what the value is, but all the other 30, 40 pages is mumbo jumbo. So we sit down with them, walk them through the whole valuation report, which we try and make as simple as possible to understand, let them ask any questions, educate them on the drivers of value, and help them understand. We give a strategic analysis and we say, hey, this value isn't where you're wanting the value to be. How can we help you get there within the next 5 years? What does that look like for you to focus on? Where do we see value being held down? So for business owners that are wanting more money or not quite ready to sell, but want to see where they're at, we can help them figure out if there's areas in their business that can help maximize the value. And what that goes into is that we sell 70% of our listings the last time I looked, it was around near 70% of our listings we sell. And the national average is, I believe, under 25%. So I believe doing a correct valuation, helping business owners understand, and then being able to defend price along with having those good contacts that I mentioned earlier to help get the deal done. I think that's what makes our business so well run, that we can close 70% of our deals, and it gives the sellers a lot of confidence, because if one out of every 5 or one of every 4 businesses aren't getting sold that are being listed, that's painful for business owners.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a lot of confidence there, but most brokers aren't going to say that that's their closing rate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where we differentiate ourselves a lot from the competition, is just our expertise in doing valuations, and just the whole process. And people realize when we're honest and truthful,
Mm-hmm.
that builds that trust, because we have to trust them and they have to trust us, for both parties, buyers and sellers. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you and I are going to have to do a follow-up piece to this just on valuation alone, because that's the world that fascinates myself. And I think that there's a lot of stuff that, owners could learn if they had a better handle on what valuations do and what they don't do. So thank you very much, Daniel, for spending the time with me. And hopefully this will get out and help some individuals who have questions. And, we'll see where this leads. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Doug. And hopefully I was able to help educate some business owners out there, and hopefully have some good follow-up conversations if anyone has any questions for me.
It was excellent stuff. Thank you. Take care.
Have a good one, Doug.
Bye now.